Today's episode is brought to you by Honey. Honey's out there trying to save you some money. Also, today we're brought to you by Hawthorne. Hawthorne's going to make you smell so good. People are going to be like, ooh, get inside my belly. Ooh, that's weird. Anyway, let's jump into this podcast.
Hello, everybody. It's time for Cousin Crendor.
Cousin Crendor in the morning.
In the morning. Live. In 4-hour recording studio audience. Recording. Wake your ass up. It's up next Crendor in the morning.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday episode of Cousin Crendor in the morning. Hello.
Cousin Crendor. Gonna give you that
Cousin Crendor.
quality content for your belly.
Yeah, for your belly. I don't know what that was about. I don't know what was happening. I was rubbing my belly while doing it too, which is weird. I was like, belly. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta get into it. Like, ooh, yeah.
Sometimes you gotta.
That's what sells it to the kids. It's the real genuine interaction with the audience. Like, ooh, I'm rubbing myself. They like that, apparently.
That sounds weird.
I told you it was weird. I said it was.
All right. Well, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I've gone full crazy.
Okay.
So, as you know, I'm trying to, like, regiment my life more and, like, make everything a little bit more, you know, I don't know what. You know, like I don't know, you know.
Organized, like, structured.
Somewhat of those words, but, like, better. Like, I want to make it,
yeah.
I consistently have the problem where I'm just like, I will do it tomorrow, and then 2 weeks go by,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
And I need to stop doing that. And so I have forced myself to, like, I don't know if it's like army rules, but I'm definitely 100% just being like, okay, do these things every day, Jesse. So that's kind of what, and so I made a list. And I wanna run this by you because this is my list I created.
Okay.
It's hanging. It is. I pulled it from my refrigerator magnet, and now it's in front of me. And it's been on my fridge every day since yesterday, so it's brand new. It's open to revision.
All right.
But it's things I think that everyone should do, but I clearly suck at doing, and so I need to just be like, all right, this is how I'm gonna do stuff.
All right.
So I have an everyday, a weekly, and a monthly list.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, make my bed. Empty or load the dishwasher if needed.
Right.
Clean up as I go. Don't leave anything just sitting there.
Right.
Do at least one small load of laundry rather than let it pile up.
All right. Yep.
Make sure that all my clothes, if there's stuff that's done from the laundry, actually like take it out and just leave it in the laundry. Sometimes I'm like, I'll get it later.
Yep, that's a
Make
classic.
sure to take out any trash that needs to be taken out. That's my everyday, right? Seems very simple. But, like, you know, when your life is running around, going to offices, sometimes some days, like, I will say I spend 3 hours at home. All right, add the 8 that I sleep.
All right.
So I'll spend 11 hours, but really, most of the time, I'm just sleeping when I'm at home.
Yeah.
Very rarely I'm at home like, I'm doing stuff. I'm usually out. And so when I'm at home, I sometimes just leave. I'm like, I'll get that. I'll get that later. And then 3 days go by and I'm like, what is that still doing there? Oh, I'm an idiot. That's why. So that's my everyday. And I feel like it's pretty straightforward. It makes sense. It's something I should do every day in sort of like this is how I'm going to help set the ability for myself to like get stuff out of the way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep going and I'm not going to put it off. That's my objective.
So you got like a commandments list.
Well, yeah. But then I've got a weekly.
Oh, okay.
The weekly steps it up.
All right.
Weekly, clean appliances.
All right.
Clean bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Clean any mirrors. I clean my mirror and, because sometimes you get like toothpaste spittle on it. Got to clean that mirror. Make sure to change all the the bed, like change the bed linens, get that done.
Change all the bed.
Vacuum, and make sure to clean up like around the apartment, like get it good.
Yeah, get it good.
Right? And so that's my weekly. So on the weekend, I'm like, look at me, I'm cleaning up, which is good because usually I do that. But the problem is what happens is so it'll be like, I'll pick one day on the weekend where I do everything I should have done earlier in the week. And I'm like, well, that took all day. So now I'm trying to mitigate that. So it's like, okay, I'll have stuff done every day during the week. And then on the weekend, I can tackle the big things and it won't take 5 hours. It'll take like 2, and I can save myself a ton of time. That's kind of where I'm going with that. And then I got a monthly thing, which is literally, all the monthly stuff of like disinfect the trash can and, vacuum like along vents and stuff. And make sure, with the bathroom, I like really get in there in the shower and like make sure that thing sparkles and shine. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like a deep
all
clean.
the other things. Yeah, like the deep clean. And I want to do that monthly. So that's my objectives. I've set objectives for myself. I'm going to see if I can do it.
I like it. I think it's good to have that.
Like it's all the things I know I need to do, and I quite often do. It's not like I don't do those things, but I do them in such a haphazard, like, oh, I should do that. There's sometimes where it'll be 11:39 at night, and I'll notice something needs to get done, and I'll be like, you know what, I should do that. And I'll just start cleaning my apartment at night for some reason.
Yeah. No, I've had those urges at like night where it's like getting towards bedtime, and you just want to clean. Like I feel it.
And I don't know if that's like you want to get it cleaned so then you can rest. You're like, you know what? I'm free of that worry now. I don't know what it is, but I have that exact same thing too. And now I'm just like, what if I did that during the day and as I went and I could, like I'm looking at my counter right now. I got a box sent to me for Life is Strange 3. And I'm like, okay, here's the plan. We take the photos, we do the things, we tweet at Dodger and harass Dodger a little bit. Then we take the box, bring it to the office, let the office people have whatever they want from it, and then like we're good. Get it off your counter, Jesse. Do it, like don't let it sit there for a week and a half. Do something with it. And so now that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just like, okay, how do I do this? When I go to my closet, I'm like, all right, you have a bunch of stuff, and you kept telling yourself you Marie Kondo'd this, Jesse. You went into your closet and you said you needed that jacket. How many times in the last year and a half have you worn that jacket? 0 times. Why are you keeping it? That's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, we're getting strict about this.
It's weird because like I'm in the same spot because it's almost been a year since I went full Marie Kondo, and so since then things have gotten a little crazy again. And so I'm in that point where I'm like, I gotta reorganize, but I don't reorganize because I'm like, well, I gotta work out, and I gotta stream, and I gotta make this video, and then I gotta do Warhammer. So I have like all these different things I'm doing, but like none of them are, like set in stone or everything. I kind of just do them all over the place. So I'm like, and then I got to write because I'm like, oh yeah, I got to write. So I'll like write a bit, but then I'm like, oh, now I got to get back to the stream. And it's like, everything's broken up. And I'm like, you know what I need? I need like a list of just things I got to do. Like what you did. It's like a day, a week, and a month. And I'm like, all right, I got to do something like that. So I'm like, I need to take a few days off, I think, and just plan it all out. So I remember when I had that one therapist guy be like, so why don't you clean or organize since you say it's pretty important? And I'm like, I don't know. And then he was just like, well, if it's important, you would think you'd want to do it. And I'm like, yeah, you would think I'd want to do it. But then you override it with other stuff. I'm like, all right.
Exactly. That's exactly correct. Where it's like, yeah, I definitely want to work out. It's like, well, if you do, you make time for it. It's like, no, I do. I do make time for it. And then I will give up that time for something else that I feel is equally valuable, but is clearly the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to mitigate all the things in my life that could get in the way of me being like, look, dude, you have an hour. You can get some real work done in an hour. Like, go work out, you big idiot. Get something done, right? Mm-hmm. But I always will be like, oh, man, I got to do this, and I scheduled this, there, and that. And it's like, well, you have 3 other hours. What are you doing then? Oh, well, I got to, do all these other things. So I'm really trying to make it so I just make everything every day I'm doing something. Every day I'm like fixing this or doing that. And so when it comes time that I have a free moment, I'm not like, oh man, I should have started cleaning my apartment. I guess I'll do that now in my free moment. Instead, it'll be like, I have a free moment. I guess I go for a walk and not like worry about anything. That could be fun. Yeah.
Plus, when you do all that, it frees up your mind to be like, hey, you know what? I don't got anything to clean really. Or if there's something to clean, it's not that bad. And so you're like, oh, now I can focus on other things, not worry about. That's what I want. I want to be able to be like, that thing in the back of my mind that's like, oh, I got to clean that thing or organize that. It's like gone because you get it all done. So that's what I'm doing. Like this week, probably I'm going to take like 2 days off, not do anything except clean, organize. I'm going to put on like Marie Kondo on Netflix on the TV or the computer or whatever and just like have that there to like be the motivation I need to be like, oh, here we go. She's clean and I got to clean.
I set aside 2 boxes that I'm going to go through all my stuff and be like, okay, Jesse, how many black shirts do you really need? Like, I'm going to really go through and just be like, let me just figure stuff out. Because if I can get living room stuff cleaned, then going through all my bedroom stuff and going through the closet could be easier. And I'm just trying to like really get in there and really mitigate all the BS in my life. And so I straight up just had to go into my notebook and just write out a bunch of this is what I need to do in my life every single day. And I found it easier than, it's the same notebook, but in it, it has a like daily schedule thing. And a daily schedule is great. But all it did was give me a third schedule to look off of. It wasn't helping me. It just was a third reminder of all the other crap I had to do. Yeah. And I was like, how can I get preventative with stuff? And so now I just have a list of like, whenever I go to the fridge for anything, it's like, did you do this thing today? I'm like, oh yeah, which is one of the reasons I have an assistant to constantly be reminded of all the things I forget, because I forget so much. But if it's right in front of me, I'm like, oh, I need to do that. And I think that might be why I'm like, oh yeah, I should clean at 11:39 at night.
I also think if you overload your brain, right, it gets a little, I think it's something with like, you can only keep track of like 7 tasks. So if you write down like 20 things to do, you're going to be like, I don't know where to start. And then you just like go, and then you just do something else. Right.
That is absolutely true. I don't know where you heard that information, but I completely believe it.
Internet.
I have done no research on this, but I completely believe that your brain can only hold 7 tasks, because I'm going to say my brain, 3. I can keep 3 things in there, and if it's not one of those 3, it is lost to me. And then I'll see something that will remind me. I'll be like, oh no. And then I got to go do that. Like literally, this is a true fact. This past week, one of my friends was leaving her work. She is no longer going to work there, and everyone who, all this friend group wanted to make her a video to say, hey, thanks, you're amazing. And that was a Monday. I got the email like, hey, just send like a 30-second video saying thanks. I was like, yeah, I'll get on that. Monday went by. Tuesday went by. Wednesday went by. Thursday, an email like, hey, can we get it Friday? I was like, yes, of course. I'm so sorry. Thursday goes by. Friday arrives, and I'm like, okay, Jesse, get this done. First thing I get there in the office, I like load up my recording software. I'm like ready to go. I walk out of the room to get a drink of water. 5 hours later, I'm like, oh, I have to record that thing. So I go sit down to record, and then I like record it, and then go about my day. And then Saturday morning, I get an email like, hey, did you send that? I'm like, I forgot to send it. That's me. And so unless I have a person that along the lines is like, hey, did you do that? Like, I need people to pester me. I may not like it, but I need it. I need someone to be like, hey, do that. But everyone's afraid to. Everyone thinks they're going to make me mad. I'm like, do I look like the guy who's going to get angry? Why does everyone think that about me?
I pester you. Don't worry. I'm not great at it, but I'll be like, hey, been 2 hours. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
But that works. I'll be like, oh, yeah, okay. And it's not because I like ever am trying to ignore people. Like, we have friends who literally will leave your ass on red and then be like 5 days later be like, oh, hey. And you're like, ugh. But like me, I'm on it. and then it just slips my mind because like something else will fill those 3 slots. It's like, just, you got to do this other thing. Like, oh, okay, I'll get that done. And then, yeah, and this isn't just like, well, if you paid me, it isn't even that. You could offer me money and it will, if it's not one of those 3 slots in my brain, it's gone. I'll be like, oh no, I had to do that thing for dollars and I forgot it. It happens. I can't help it.
Yeah, I'll have that happen occasionally too, because it's like, hey, you got to sign this contract, or hey, you got to do that. I'm like, all right, and then like days go by, and they're like, it's still in your thing, and I'm like, oh god, and then I got to go sign it. Like, it's like a basic thing that takes like 1 minute.
Exactly, and that's my point. It's one of those things where the minute I get it, I should immediately do it. And for some reason, I'm like, well, I'm busy with this other thing. Is the other thing as important or more important? No, but for some reason, I'm just like, well, when I finish X, I will tackle this new thing. But every damn time, it's like 5 days later. I'm so dumb. And I do it to myself. And so I'm like, you know what? Nah, no more. So I sat down and wrote out a list. And like, this is your everyday. Before you leave the house in the morning, do this stuff.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where I'll have like something on the table, like a glass of water, and you drink the glass. And I'm like, I gotta put that in the kitchen now. And then I'm like, well, I can just take it down later. But if you take it down now, then you like get past that barrier in your brain. Because then if you don't do it right then, maybe it just sits there for like a day or 2 days. And then you're like, uh-oh. It's like you just gotta be like, ugh, and just do it.
I haven't lived a normal life in a while. Like, normal people who have real jobs and like have families and stuff. Like, I haven't done that. It's been, the last 10 years have not been real. I literally play video games for a living. But every streamer I talk to who exists in the same world as us has the exact same problem. And I don't know if it's the culture or if it's everyone. Everyone has this problem. And the only people I talk to are streamers, and they're like, yeah, but everyone I know is just, I don't know. I don't know if it's the, streaming. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Twitch rots your brain. It's turned us all into idiots. You know what? I had to say it. Take that, Jeff Bezos.
It's the new TV. It'll rot your brain. I made a video talking about burnout, because there's like, I swear to God, half the people I follow are like, hey, I'm burning out, taking a break. Because I went through that a few months ago. But I feel like I made a video talking about it, being like, all right, this is why people burn out. First up, a lot of them are tied to one game, right? So if you're tied to one game and you keep playing that game and you get tired of that game, you can't quit that game, because then your viewership drops. But if your viewership drops, you're like, uh-oh, I got to play this game, get it back up. So you have to like get past that speed bump in order to make it to the point where you can get more viewers from other games. But if you're, struggling, or maybe you're not, doing that great financially, you're like, I got to go play that game. So then you're in a bad mood because you don't want to play that game. And then people are like, he looks like he's in a bad mood. Well, yeah, he's playing a game he doesn't want to play. So then it becomes a job, like an actual like job, instead of having fun playing video game. Then you got people yelling at you, being like, where's the thing, idiot? Or like, wow, he's not having fun playing this game. What an idiot. And then you start being like, should I have fun play this? I should have fun playing this game, right? I'm playing a game for a living. Like, I should be enjoying this, but you're not enjoying it. So it creates this controversy in your head where you're just like, I don't know. And then you start being like, man, other people want to do this for a living and I'm not enjoying it, but I got to do it. And then it like creates even more thing. And then you see someone else be like, hey, idiot. And then you fire back, because then you're starting to hit a tipping point and you're like, shut up, idiot. And everyone's like, whoa, this guy's crazy.
You're not wrong.
I feel like people get to this point where like they're so big, everybody sees them as like not even like a celebrity, but just like not human. And you forget that like everybody's just human. And maybe your stomach hurts, or maybe there's health things going on, and maybe there's life problems going on, and that's affecting you too. So like, like when I had all my stomach problems and stuff, it's like, all right, stomach hurts, here we go. And then you're even more vulnerable and like irritable. And like you could have family issues going on, and then someone will be like, what's the deal with this? And then you're just like, shut up, idiot. And everyone's like, whoa, this guy's getting crazy. So I mean, you don't know what's going on in people's lives and their own lives and what they're feeling and like their own thing. And it's like, it all adds up.
I had like a weird epiphany the other day, similar to this, where a celebrity died. I don't remember who it was, but that's not a rare occurrence. But a celebrity died, and I remember thinking, when I read the article that it was like, this dude had an entire life that I never once thought about, except for when he played a character on a show that I liked, and now he's dead.
Yeah.
And you realize, like, most of your day, you are oblivious to the other lives around you. Not very often are you thinking about the day-to-day struggles and problems and the life of someone else, right? But you might have a moment interaction with them, and you're like, hey, F you, get out of my way, right? And who knows what's going on in their life, but it doesn't matter because it, like, inconvenienced you a little.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem with social media is that it is designed to make you feel like FOMO and to make you see someone and see their best version of themselves.
Their life
and
is
so
filtered,
everyone,
dude.
and everyone posts their best moments, but it's all a lie and all BS. And so every time I see, one of my favorites was when a couple that I knew, like, kept posting, I love you, you're the best thing in my life, all this stuff. And then the next post, like a week later, was like, we're getting a divorce. I was like, what?
Dude, I'm telling you.
Because it's all BS. It's all, it's everyone trying to make everyone else feel like they're okay. That's the whole, and the problem is, and I think you and I are both guilty of this, is when people post how bad they're doing, we're like, shh, we just don't care, stop. Right? Because when you post how bad you're doing, that's all you're posting, and no one wants to see people like, you're just like, my life sucks and it's terrible. But at the same time, we're saying, hey, we want to see the positive side, but the positive side is making everyone go crazy because we're like, well, they can't all be happy all the time. Social media is the worst.
It is the worst. My issue is some people, it's like one or the other to the extreme. It's like there's got to be some normalcy in there where somebody's like, hey, you know what, having a bad day or whatever. Then the next day, like, yo, it's a pretty good day. Like, it's the balance of it. It's not just like constant, like, well, another bad day, or like, wow, another great day. Every day's great. Woohoo! The problem
with that is most people start that way, and then at a certain point, many people, when they start posting negative stuff, get a lot of comments that are like, you can get through this. I believe in you. And suddenly every time something's wrong, they go back to whatever social media platform in order to get that feedback. And then, like, well, today I saw a person,
if you're like on the good side, they're probably like, it's great. And everyone's like, man, I wish I was you. And they're like, it's just bad. That's why like I said the other week, like I said this week, take Twitter and either uninstall it or move it to a folder in the far depths of your phone that's extremely hard to get to, and you'll be much happier for it.
But if you could, for the business side, please keep following us, because that's how we make our money.
Yeah, that too. Oh my God, speaking of that, so I had my phone, or what is it, iPhone X or whatever. I've had this one for like 3 years, right? So I was like, maybe I'll upgrade. I got the new iPhone 13. I'm like, all right, let's try it out. I swear to God, it's like, it feels exactly the same. In fact,
I thought you said you were going blind use. I saw a tweet you saying you're going blind using it?
Yeah, so I'm not going blind, okay? You're taking my social media and you're twisting and turning. See? All right? It's already toxic.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I tried to set you up there and it failed.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, the only good thing is the screen's like really cool. Like, it's a new OLED screen, which I guess all the phones are doing now. But it was like moving so fast. And like the refresh rate and the frame rate and everything, I was getting like motion sick kind of looking. I was like, ugh. And then I like went into the like a dark room.
Wait, what was your last phone?
The iPhone XS Max or whatever. It's from like 3 years ago.
You had an iPhone 10,
yeah,
version 2, which would be at least 5 years ago.
No,
I think
it's 3 years.
Yes,
I literally checked my receipt. I bought it 3 years ago.
Wait, that doesn't make any. Oh, so maybe you bought
It is the iPhone XS Max.
But the generation is old.
What?
Because isn't it like iPhone 11, then like a iPhone 11s comes out next, and then it's iPhone 12, then iPhone 12s.
No,
now it's iPhone 13, right?
No. The last 3 years have been XS Max, then 11, then 12, now it's 13.
Well, that shows you how much I know about phones.
I think they stopped doing the S. That was like the last version they went XS or whatever.
Well, I know nothing about it. All I know is that I still have an 11. So it's no worries here.
So the thing was, my phone's actually been pretty solid. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe we'll see how it is. And so I'm returning it. Because I was like, I'm not going to spend all this money on this phone. If it's like the exact same phone, except for the only difference is it's giving me eye problems. And someone's like, you just got to get used to it. I'm like, I'm not going to get used to it. I have my other phone that works fine. Then I was testing the camera, and I think, okay, so my current phone, it's got like the two little camera things. You can barely tell it's there. This one's got like 3 honking lenses on it. All right, I put it down on the table. It's practically propped up. I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe the camera's awesome. I tried it. It's like barely better. The pictures get slightly more light, and that's like it. I'm like, I'm not going to pay this much money to get slightly more light in a picture. Like, if I put the pictures next to each other and I was like, tell me which one is which, for like a portion of them, you probably couldn't even tell which one's from the old phone and the new phone. Like, it's barely noticeable. So I'm like, all right, well, that's dumb. So I'd rather just have the smaller camera that's practically as good. And the only thing I wanted was the battery life, because my battery life's a bit bad. But I'm like, I'm always just going to charge the thing anyway. So I'm just keeping this phone. Then there's the people, I was like, how do I fix it? Someone's like, just turn it off and buy an Android. All right, that's like something a typical Android person would say. So I already knew that was coming. But
I don't want an Android. I hate Android phones.
I've already said that. I watched a thing about them comparing Android and iPhone. They're like practically the same phone at this point, but I just like the UI more on the iPhone. Plus, like, I've just had this phone for 3 years and it's working great. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Sending it back, keeping this one, and I'm just going to ride it out until it fades into the dust distance.
I think I have something similar to you. I just was looking. So for Verizon, you have like a new phone every 2 years.
Mm.
And basically, if you trade in your old phone, they'll give you a new phone. Yeah. And so I'm like, maybe. But you're right. Like, I'm totally satisfied with my phone.
Yeah.
There's nothing about my phone where I'm like, you know what? I could use a new one. But at the same time, I kind of want to see what the new one... Like, now you got me intrigued.
That's how I was, too. I was like, you know what? It's got to be better. Now, it's been 3 years, dude. But I think, here's the problem. We've hit this point where the innovation has slowed down drastically. And now everyone's like, you can play games faster. I'm like, I don't want to play games on my phone, right? So that's like the biggest thing. And then they're like, Twitter opens 0.8 seconds faster. I'm like, I don't want to get to Twitter fast. I want to get there slower so I can close it. Then they're like, camera's like slightly better. I'm like, I don't even think the camera's that much better, right? And to do that, you got these giant ass lenses on it. Like, I don't care. So I'm just until there's like some crazy innovation for the phones where they're like, this is insane. Then I'll get that one.
I feel the same way. They even are now trying to do the whole thing where like phones are gimmicky again. So they're new flip phones and they're new phones that are like, it folds into 18 screens and all that's great.
Too much.
Yeah, it's fine. But what I would just like is a phone that just lighter and maybe took better photos. And
that's another thing. This phone is bigger. It's bigger. And it's got instead of being like rounded at the edges, it's like now it's more of the brick phone. And I'm like, how it got bigger, but it's like it's the same. It's dumb.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I like about the phone that I have is I have the rounded edges.
Yeah, the new one doesn't.
And I saw the new one, and it's like, I have no clue. I saw the guy the other day talking about he has an iPhone 7, and I was like, that dude is old school. He gets it. He's smarter than me because he's like, look, I don't need that. He's right. I mean, like, yeah, he's right. I don't play games on my phone. I did download the Nier game. Haven't touched it once. I downloaded it because like I need to know what the hell this Nier game is because it's gonna be weird as hell. And it's gonna be my phone. Great. Haven't touched it once. Other than that, I think I use the same 6 apps, and then I have other apps that exist for the one time in a million. I'll touch it and be like, oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. I barely use my phone for anything. And I always feel dumb when people are like, just text me. I'm like, can I call you? They're like, no. Like,
You sound like my
old.
dad. I just want a phone where I can open the call center and call my friends and family.
This is how I realized. I mean, like, obviously, I'm now becoming old man screams at cloud, or yells at cloud. But honestly, the other day I watched a video that made me laugh so hard because I know it's true and I know the generational divide is there, right? Where for a while, being a millennial, especially a geriatric millennial as they call me, you like kind of, there were moments where you kind of fit in with the younger millennials and some of the older Gen Z people, and you like understood what they were talking about. We are officially, fully, completely at the generational gap now, where it's like, I watched a video the other day, and it was really funny, where it was like a spoof of kids talking about, becoming friends and like what they like and stuff like that. And one of the funniest parts was the fact that it was like, it's like, yo, do you play Roblox or Fortnite? And it's like, I play both. And he's like, okay, Xbox, PlayStation. He's like, neither. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, phone, dog. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's right. Young kids play most of their games on the phone, and that is insane to me. I would never, why would I play on such a small screen? That makes no sense. But clearly, most younger people, the phone is where they spend all their time.
Yeah, I mean, it adds up because, back in the day you had to buy consoles and buy it, and now it's just like, oh, well, your parents just buy you a good phone, and then you can do everything on it. It's like having a mini computer. It's really what it is.
Makes no sense to me. I don't get it. I'm like, why would you? Oh, my God, the other day, someone in our office, it might have been Julia or one of the young, like the young, hip, cool kids.
What are the young kids?
I was texting on my phone, and they started making fun of me because I was using one hand to text. And they're like, why don't you use two hands? I was like, what do you mean? They're like, you can use both thumbs. I was like, I can't go that fast. I was like,
well, I mean, that
I
is
gotta
pretty
figure
sad,
out what
honestly.
I'm going to say.
that is pretty sad. I mean, if I'm like doing something and I gotta quickly like use one hand, like
I've
maybe
never
I'm stirring a pot of chili.
never used two
maybe
hands.
I'm typing something on a computer. I gotta type their thing, and I'll just I go with two hands. Otherwise,
I've never used two hands. I have never. It makes no sense. I've never
that's
used
weird.
two hands.
That's weird.
I never have.
You're old.
Meanwhile, you know what? Well, I can type on a typewriter without looking at the keys. So screw y'all. Screw y'all. I'm trained in different ways.
It's like
Okay?
dust out typewriter from the closet, like whew, like all the dust blows off. Here we
I
are.
can type on a typewriter. So screw y'all. When the apocalypse comes and all the cell phones go down, who's going to be sending the messages then? Me. I will.
You think your kids are good with your text messaging? I know the Morse code. Yeah, I'll be getting rescued. That's we are hitting the gap now.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's it's an interesting thing to think about. That I was looking at someone posted like a thing about in the 1950s you could see the generational differences between people who were born in the 1880s versus people who were born in the 1910s, just by how they like dressed and lived.
Yeah.
Because people from the 1800s had like a totally different vibe, and that never went away. That was the vibe of like the way they lived. And then at the turn of the century, when everything modernized and changed, those people were just like, whoa, hold up, no. And so in the 50s, there's this really funny, like, different pictures of people who are, at the time, 70, right? Or whatever, versus the people who are, 45. And the look of them is totally different. And that's how I feel. We're going to get to a point where it's like people born in the year, like, 2010 versus people born in 1985 is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be like I don't even. I watched. Oh my God, Crendor. Speaking of, there's a show on Netflix called The Circle. Terrible show.
All right.
Truly one of the worst shows I've ever seen. It is a reality show in which a bunch of people are brought into an apartment complex. They're not allowed to see each other. And they play a social media game where they can talk to each other and they can sort of like figure out who's who. They can lie to each other. They can pretend to be someone they're not. They can like catfish people. But the basic gist is you're trying to be the last person there. And you're trying to like convince everyone that you are something. I don't know what like the goal is, but it's the last person there wins. And so the biggest thing that while watching it, I watched the newest season. I watched the first 2.5 episodes before I was like, nah, this ain't for me. They invite all these people there, and they're all overdramatic, and they act like crazy people, except for this one guy who I actually really enjoyed. He seemed like such like a bro dude, and I was like, this guy is just having the best time of his life. I love that guy. But everyone else was really over the top and whatever. At the end of the first episode, they unveil the last person entering, and it's this Instagram model and her manager. And they're going to pretend to just be the Instagram model and work together to kind of like, cheese their way through this thing. Mm. And what ends up happening is everyone hates them immediately. Everyone hates the Instagram model person, and they vote her off right away. Which, let's be real, was the right choice.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the first episode, it's revealed that, hey, if you get booted off, you're allowed to go meet anyone and tell them, hey, I'm real or I'm not real, that kind of stuff. And they decided to go meet the dude who said, I don't believe they're a real person, right? Because she had like all these perfect photos, and they were like, this is fake. You are not a real person. You are catfishing us. Mm. And so they were going to go there, and she was going to show up and be like, I'm real. That's right. I'm beautiful, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And they enter the room, but it's not this dude's apartment. In fact, it's this other apartment where they're like, hey, we've decided to allow you to stay, and you are allowed to come back as an imposter. You get to pretend to be one of the other people. And so these two social media gurus are like, oh my God, who do we pretend to be? And they pick the elderly lady who's there. This like old Southern lady who's just, barely knows. She's like, tell everyone I'll say hello. And like, because you can't type. You're supposed to say what you're going to say out loud. And the machine like does it. And so people be talking. She's like, I think you're cute. You remind me of my grandson. Like that kind of stuff. So they decide to be her. So second episode, they come back and she's like, what's going on? And now there's like, I think her name was Elizabeth or something like that. Ellen, Helen, whatever. Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And now there are two of them. And everyone's like, what does this mean? There's the blue version and the orange version. And the orange version is the original, and the blue one is these new imposters. And they literally spend the next hour gaslighting this poor woman and convincing everyone else that she is not real. And she is furious. She's like, I don't understand why these people are like, it breaks my heart. Like, and so they play a game where it's just photos of this woman's life. And it's like, hey, blue, orange, describe this event. What was this? And so there's one where it's, her fishing, and the old woman explains everything in high detail. And the influencer's like, we don't know what this is. So let's just like, and they post a thing that's a fun time with my family. God and country first. I love them so much. This was when we caught this fish, and you know what? It wasn't even about the fish. It was about the time we spent, like that kind of shit. Yeah. And everyone's like, you know what? That sounds like something she would say. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I was so mad. This poor woman, everyone, even the people that were her friends, when she went to go talk to them, they were like, well, I definitely trust her. And then the blue one would show up, and they'd be like, oh no, that seems more like her. And it's like, what the? How are you all so dumb? And so then they all unanimously vote this woman off. And she's like crying and sobbing, and just, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I was like, I hate this. And she's like told, hey, you can go meet the people who voted you off. Anyone you want. She go, and so instead of going to anyone else and saying, blue is not me, please get rid of them, and proving herself to people, instead she goes to the two influencers that pretended to be her and was like, I need to know why you chose me. And they said, look, it's just business. Don't worry about it. She's like, well, do you feel bad? And they're like, oh, on Jesus, we feel terrible. And I was like, they're lying to you. And she's like, well, I feel better now. And then leaves. I was like, this show sucks. I was like, delete, remove from my Netflix. This is garbage. I was like, I hate this show. This is so dumb. Yeah. irredeeming. I don't know why I got on this, but it kicked in my head how much I hated this. I need to tell you, trash show. One of the worst shows I've ever watched. It's on season 3, Crendor.
Season
3
3?
seasons of this garbage. Yes.
I need to watch at least one episode.
I was so mad. It's not like, imagine a show where it's social media and everyone's trying to game each other, but you don't type, you just say, hey, Circle, please enter blank chat. And then you go in the chat and they're like, hello, everyone. I would like to talk to you. Like, it's that. It's. Oh
I gotta see this.
So
I gotta see how bad it is.
Such a bad show.
There's one thing I love. It's terrible shows.
I was so mad. I was like, man, I miss the days of Are You the One? Like, that was good.
That was good. Bad. This is just bad. Bad.
This is bad. I can't believe that they punked that poor old woman. And then her response was, well, I want to get more punked by these women. And so the social media influencer and her manager were just like, we feel terrible. We're so Jesus on Jesus. We didn't mean to do that to you. And then you're like, yeah, you did. Of course you did. That's why you picked her.
I'll send you a fruit basket.
You picked her because she was easily manipulatable.
Yeah.
And you could pretend to be her and everyone believed you. Like, you clearly... And they're like, no. You know, I'll think about this for the rest of my life. Like, no, you won't. Shut up. You suck.
Man, that is...
I was so mad. I was like, this show is ass. This show is ass. My choices were Squid Game or that. And I was like, well, I don't want to be weirded out tonight. I just want to watch this. And it weirded me out even more. Because I was like, I trust no one now. And everyone's like, Squid Game was amazing. I'm like, yeah, well, it sounds great. I probably should have watched that instead.
Wait, what's Squid Game?
Squid Game is, I think it's Korean. Let me look this up. Is it Korean? Where it's a drama series about a bunch of people who are kidnapped, ? And brought on to a live streaming television series about, like, maybe it's streaming? I don't know. But literally it's like a series of games where at the end, if you win, you get a bunch of money, but everyone who's there is killed. It's like literally Fall Guys.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, but it's like Fall Guys, except instead of little cute people, it's humans and they die. Like, that's the thing.
All right, so it's Fall Guys, Hunger Games in Korea.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Honestly, I'll watch this.
Yeah, it looks super neat. Everyone's saying it's like really tense and crazy, and I'm like, ooh, I need to watch this.
All right, yeah, I'll check that out, and then I'll watch The Circle right before it, just to really
upset. Circle garbage.
The
worst part is that it's like not even like compelling. I watched 2.5 episodes, and it wasn't even because I was like into like, oh, I got to see what happens with these characters. Literally, I was rage watching. I rage watched for 1.5 episodes because the end of the second episode, they did one of those like to be continued things. Mm-hmm. And at the beginning of the third episode, they booted this poor woman out. I was so mad. I was infuriated for this woman. I was like, of all the ways, it was because everyone was so dumb. And it reminded me of when we play like Among Us or Secret Hitler. And you watch like when you're clearly not the bad guy, but you're watching people fall for completely dumb things. And they're like, well, it seemed like you're really overthinking this and like giving way too many details. It's like, that's because it's real. What do you mean? Like, well, you didn't, like, what emotions were you feeling then? None. I was trying to win the game. Oh my God. Oh, Crendor made me so mad.
Well, you know what doesn't make us mad?
Thank you, pal. Thank you. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Honey doesn't make us mad because it's helping us save money every time we shop online. We all shop online, and Honey is there to help out. We've all seen that promo field right at the end when you go to checkout, and thanks to Honey, you can actually enter something in there and save that money because Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one that fits in your cart. Honey sports over 30,000 stores online, from tech and gaming products to popular fashion to even food delivery. Here's how it works. It's very, very simple. Imagine you're shopping at one of your favorite sites, and then you go to check out. Honey will drop down and be like, apply coupons. You click, and within a few seconds, Honey searches for coupons that it will find all over the internet for this site and give you the best working one, and you can watch the prices drop. I've used Honey for a long time now. Both of us have. It's very simple to use. The best thing is that the last time I used it, I literally saved on a pizza order. I just bought pizza and saved money. What a great benefit to my life personally. And it's benefited a lot of other people too. Honey has found over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings. So if you don't have Honey, you are straight up missing out on free savings. And literally, it takes seconds to install. It's totally free. And by getting it, you're doing yourself a solid. All you got to do to get Honey for free is go to joinhoney.com/Cox. That's joinhoney, spelled how honey is spelled, Honey, joinhoney.com/Cox. Also, today we're brought to you by Hawthorne. Listen, it is a known fact. I smell very good. That's right. It is a known fact. It's true. Every person I've ever met has been like, damn, you smelling good, dude. I can't help it. I take care to smell nice. It's how I roll. Look, I got all sorts of other problems, but smell is not one of them. And Hawthorne is the reason why. Hawthorne's grooming products are the answer to why I feel as good as I smell. Hawthorne is a premium men's grooming brand that makes it quick and easy to confidently be your best with skincare and hair products made just for you. They use all the information from their hundreds of thousands of customers to recommend products for your body chemistry, skin type, hair type, lifestyle. And sure, you can go to the drugstore, the grocery store, department store, and just buy a product that's sort of a one-fits-all thing. But Hawthorne is about finding something for you. First thing you gotta do is go to Hawthorne and take the quiz. They're going to ask you things like, what your favorite drink is. Do you smoke? What kind of body wash have you used in the past? All sorts of different things. And when you're done, trust me, it's actually kind of fun to take the quiz because you get to a little, quizzes are fun. People be taking quizzes online all the time.
That's the truth.
And trust me, I've taken the quiz. The scents they send me are perfect. I love how they smell. And here's the thing. If you are not satisfied with how they tailor stuff to you and what they send you, they will retailer your products for free based on your feedback and pay for the shipping too, so there's absolutely no risk. So make sure you're ready for anything and anyone, wink, 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 that comes your way by taking the Hawthorne quiz today. Get that scent that's right for you. Get that body wash, shampoo, deodorant, all the different things they offer. Go to hawthorne.co and use promo code COX to get 10% off your first purchase. That's HAWTHORNE.co, promo code COX. That's hawthorne.co, promo code COX. All right, Crendor, let's go to traffic. This guy's Crendor. How's the traffic out there?
Traffic. Oh, man. Right now, we've got traffic backed up because of some geese. These geese are walking, and they are walking in a giant pack. They have overtaken the roads. There are at least 4,000 geese crossing the road. Some cars are trying to get through, but they are just blocked by the geese's unbelievable shield of metallic geese wings. That's right. They must have evolved that over a few centuries, but they have it now, and they are destroying cars. They are destroying vehicles along the way, and we are in the age of geese. Back to you.
Wow, the age of geese sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Age of geese.
The age of geese. Imagine if the geese.
I am. Yeah. Speaking of traffic, this week I saw a video on Reddit it was like a bunch of kids in a car just sitting there in a traffic jam, and they're talking about whatever, like some dude named Chad, right? And I think they're trying to meme, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the video, that like the side of the highway, like that open area where like the pull off area, whatever that's called, the embankment, whatever. Literally upside down, coming down it for at least 5 cars back. You can't see where it starts. An upside down car just zooms by, hits their car, and they're like, "Oh, damn!" I have so many questions. I have no idea. Where'd that car come from? Why was it upside down? Was there a crash? How far back was the crash? Why did they end up on? It's a crazy video. So yeah, you don't know what's gonna come your way in traffic, like geese, is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
It was the geese that did it. Speaking of geese, let's go to weather.
Yeah.
Hong Kong.
The weather time. So this time I've actually found a weather request. This one is from Moonring XD. Weather request for Apache Junction, Arizona. It is right next to the Superstition Mountains, home to the mythical Lost Dutchman's gold mine.
There is a movie called Apache Junction.
Oh. Well,
Starring, let's see, who stars in this movie? Wow, none of the actors are listed as. Oh, hold on. Trace Adkins is the number one. Well, all right, never mind.
old Trace Adkins.
Oh, Thomas Jane is in it. All right, well, that's a person I recognize.
Well, currently it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit with rain. That's right, it's raining. I did not expect that. High of 75. Humidity 77%, 29.94 inches of pressure, 7-mile visibility, 12-mile-an-hour winds, 64 on the dew point, 2 of 10 on the UV index, and a waning gibbous moon. 6:17 sunrise, 6:17 sunset. Whoa, synergy. For the 10-day, scattered storms for the rest of the day, 60% chance. Tonight, 66, got some rain, 40%. Then Monday, 82, mostly sunny, 86, partly cloudy, 84, partly cloudy, 81, partly cloudy, 83, partly cloudy. So this whole week is 80s and partly cloudy, followed by Saturday with a sunny 89, and then another week of partly cloudies, but going up to 90 for the most part.
I'm trying to figure out what there is to do in Apache Junction. I'm going to let you know. The things to do on the Apache Junction website was a dead link. So I'm going to try again. All right, things to do. Mountain biking is number 1. Superstition Mountain Museum. It looks like a place, you know, like when the pickers go look for trash to like make it into something they can sell. Looks like that.
It does.
The Goldfield Ghost Town definitely looks like a ghost town.
Oh, yeah.
Silly Mountain Park. I wouldn't call that mountain silly. That's rude. The Siphon Draw Trail. Mammoth Mine Rock Shop. Again, all the places here look like a place you would go to find like a car that no longer works, but they're definitely going to fix up.
Oh, yeah.
Number 8 of things to do is the Los Gringos Locos Mexican restaurant.
There it is.
That's number 8. That's number 8. I feel bad for Philly's Roadhouse Restaurant and Lounge. The Mexican must be very good because Philly's is offering you music, and it's like, nah, that's number 9.
Number 10, you got the Dirtwater Springs Apache Junction.
I mean, you know, it is dirt water.
Why would you name your restaurant Dirtwater?
Barlene's Dinner Show. You're telling me dinner and a show is worse than that Mexican restaurant?
Are you telling me there's somebody named Barlene?
It took me a minute. I was like, wait, what? You're right. Barley?
Barlene.
Or is it someone named Arlene, but they own a bar, so they called it Barley?
That's possible.
There's a golf course. That's pretty nice. Motherlode Mercantile. Here's the thing. I would go to Motherlode Mercantile. That looks like a place you'd find some weird stuff.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does.
Looks like an old-timey saloon shop.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, number 17 is this like perfectly created burger.
Oh, yeah, that's not real.
Oh, never mind, because it says the photo, even though the Handlebar Pub and Grill, the photo is from stock.adobe.com. So.
Yeah, classic.
Never mind. And then the last thing is a skin therapy place, which I'll be honest, if you're in the sun a bunch, you could use skin therapy.
That is true, yeah.
All right, Apache Junction. Sounds like a great place to visit for a day.
That's the weather.
Okay, let's go to sports.
Welcome to the Sports Desk. We've got NFL football happening right now, and it is big. For the scores. We had Panthers beat the Texans 24-9 on Thursday. The Chargers somehow beat the Chiefs in one of the wackiest endings to a game I've seen. It was like someone was playing Madden. It was insane. Cardinals beat the Jaguars. Browns destroyed the Bears. Justin Fields got sacked like 9 times. Bills destroyed Washington. Titans beat the Colts. Saints beat the Patriots. Falcons beat the Giants, who were winning pretty much the whole game. Bengals beat the Steelers as the Steelers start their collapse.
I don't. You know what? Let's not ever talk about this. Let's like leave the Steelers scores out of it from now on.
Yeah, it's not good. Ravens kicked a NFL record-setting 66-yard field goal to beat the Lions at the end of the game. It hit the crossbar and bounced in classic Detroit Lions fashion, because, any other team that would have bounced out. And that was all the NFL scores that happened. Currently, Dolphins are up on the Raiders, Broncos up on the Jets, Rams up on the Buccaneers, and the Vikings are up on the Seahawks.
What happened to didn't the Kansas City Chiefs guy get what happened to him? Their coach, did he die? What the hell happened to him?
What? Andy Reid?
I think I saw him. Yeah. I think I saw him
Oh, wow. He left the stadium in an ambulance after falling ill.
That's what I'm saying. All I did was I saw a post about it and was like, what?
Damn, I didn't even see that. He did not address media. He left stadium ambulance. Told he should be okay. Someone 25 minutes ago said he was dehydrated.
Stop drinking Coke, my dude.
Drink your water.
There's water all over that field.
Yeah. What? Baseball standings. Tampa Bay clinches the East. White Sox clinch the Central. Houston about to clinch the West. Braves 2 games up in the East. Milwaukee clinches the Central. And, or I think they haven't yet, but they're pretty close. Then San Francisco and the Dodgers are both in the playoffs. So right now, in terms of wild cards, Boston and the Yankees would play each other in the wild card game, with Toronto a game and a half back. And Dodgers would play against St. Louis, who are 2 games up on Cincinnati and Philadelphia. So it's looking like they will get in. St. Louis has also won 15 games in a row, so that's pretty good going into the playoffs if they do decide to, get in there. But they're also winning against the Cubs right now, 4-2 in the 9th inning. So they probably will win. Although the Cubs they got 2 people on. Who knows what goes on? And then hockey and basketball are going to be starting up their preseasons pretty much in a week or 2. I think hockey starts this week, and basketball's the next week. So should be good. That's sports.
Okay. What is our fact thing of the day?
Our fact thing of the day is dinosaurs lived on every continent.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Wait. Who didn't think that?
I mean, there's probably plenty of people that didn't think that. I didn't even realize.
What? All right. I'm going to let you continue with this fact.
Well, I didn't think there'd be Antarctica dinosaurs. I figured nothing lived there.
Well, Antarctica wasn't Antarctica 65 million years ago.
Well, some people forget that, and they had straight C's and D's in school, all right? Back in their day, dinosaurs lived on every continent on Earth, including Antarctica. The only reason we find their bones in certain places, though, is that weather and soil conditions in those places were right for the bones to be fossilized. Scientists also speculate there may have been many smaller-sized dinosaurs that we know nothing about because their bones were too small to fossilize.
I mean, that's true. There were probably all sorts of types and shapes and whatever of dinosaurs. Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty neat.
If anything, we're still learning that we're totally wrong about them. 20 years ago, dinosaurs were looked like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, and now they're well, actually, they probably had feathers.
Yeah.
So, what the hell do I know?
Pretty cool to see a feathered dinosaur.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. That's your random fact of the day.
Well, what is our big news story of the day?
Whoa, big news story of the day. This is going to be a big one. It's going to be a huge one, in fact. It's two stories. I'll let you pick which one you want to hear. Florida man tries
to put this on me?
Yep. Florida man tries to trade in car at same dealership where he stole it from. Or alleged pizza roll pooper apprehended after Oklahoma grocery store incident.
Well, you know which one I want. Pizza roll pooper. Pizza roll pooper.
Of course. Shirley Wright Johnson had a crappy shopping experience. Literally.
I hate that.
You picked it. Wright Johnson said she was picking up some items at the grocery store in Moore, Oklahoma with her 2 daughters when she reached for a bag of frozen pizza rolls when she quickly discovered something else in her hand. Oh, Jesus. I picked up a bag of pizza rolls and there's literally shit, she said in a video. Excuse my language. Someone defecated inside a supermarket freezer onto a bag of Totinos Pizza Rolls.
I have so many. Do you think it was like against Totinos, or do you think it was just you gotta go when you gotta go?
I feel like it was against Totinos because, like, if you gotta go, he'd probably just go on the floor.
Well, maybe you're right. I mean, you're right. You're right.
But, like, maybe he's trying to disguise it, but, like, there's probably gonna be better places, right? I don't know.
I mean, yeah. There's one of them's called a toilet, but, like, you know,
you can also just go outside if you're gonna, like, I don't know, like, why then?
You're right. It must be targeting Totinos. You're right.
So someone defecated inside a supermarket freezer onto a bag of Totino pizza rolls and covered the mess with another package of them. I grabbed the bag, turned it over, and there it was. I was upset, disgusted, and felt like I was violated. I mean, yeah. You know, you want some pizza rolls and you end up with shit.
Not that different.
I wouldn't be happy. The ride home was miserable. All the way home, my kids were still like, Mom, I can smell it. I can smell it.
Wait. They didn't take it home with them. Why?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just on her hand. Like, it's just
What do you mean it's on her hand? You're telling me she opened the freezer, looked at it, and was like, is that poo? And then grabbed some, like, it is poo. Is that, like, what she thought? What do you mean?
Yeah, like, I don't know, because you would think you would, like, see something. I don't know. This is a weird situation. Also, why didn't she, like, tell the store, or, like, didn't the store?
I just can't believe her kids are like, I still see it in my sleep, mother.
It haunts my dreams.
I smell the poo, mother.
She told Oklahoma City CBS affiliate KWTV TV. It's just disgusting. That's the only word I can use. It's disgusting and horrible. More policing, using surveillance video from the scene of the grime, flushed out a man they identified as a person of interest. He was booked into the Cleveland County Detention Center on unrelated charges while the poop probe continues. Wait, on unrelated charges? He had other stuff. The man's name will be released if the charges are filed. The man was also reported taking pictures of women in the grocery store. Ah, a classic.
I have so many questions, and none of it makes sense. It just
gotta know if he's against Totinos or not.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I don't care what happened to this woman. Shit appears in our life at all times. But what happened with those Totinos that caused someone to poo on the Totinos?
Yeah, that's the question. And we may never know. But we might down the line. Who knows?
I just can't. I don't think we will. I'm going to let you know. I feel like this is all we're going to hear about this story. Unless there's another article next week that's like, we've dug deeper into the mystery of the Totinos poops. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Yep, that's one of life's great mysteries.
It always is. It always is. Who pooed in the Totinos?
Yep.
I'm going to do a Chilluminati podcast episode on that 20 years from now. Like, nobody knows.
It could have been a ghost.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for listening or watching. However you're enjoying this podcast, Crendor, hit him with the socials.
Socials, we're everywhere. We're on youtube.com/Cox and Crendor podcast. All your podcast needs are uploaded there. Go listen to the previous podcasts from all the other weeks or years or however far back you want to go. Also, we're on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, all those podcast places. And if you want the funny haha animations, go to youtube.com/Cox and Crendor without the podcast on the end of it. Also follow our stuff. We got YouTube.com Jesse Cox, YouTube.com Crendor, Twitch TV Jesse Cox, Twitch TV Crendor, Patreon Jesse Cox, Patreon Crendor, Twitter Jesse Cox, Twitter Crendor, Facebook Jesse Cox, Facebook Crendor, Instagram Notorious Cox, Instagram Crendor's taken, and that's it.
Okay, that's it. Thanks again. We'll see y'all next time. And as always,
Whoa, the bell's back.
to be continued.